This is an update to what's happening with the previous FCA 3-liter V6 EcoDiesel engine. And you guys over the last several months have been asking us questions. Can you provide an update? What's going on with the 2014 through 2016 Ram 1500 trucks and some Jeep Grand Cherokee EcoDiesel SUVs that were involved in the initial EPA inquiry into their emissions and their fuel economy? This is the update because finally we have quite a lot of notes. A few days ago, I got 3 reports from current owners talking about the emissions settlement that FCA is currently involved in. And I published an article on our website, TFLtruck.com, specifying what they found and how the settlement procedure is working for them. And I got a lot of responses from current owners, from you guys, telling me that a lot of you are disappointed by the lack of performance after the emissions-related recall on that engine. So first, let me go over the timeline of what happened with EcoDiesel. This is the second generation, the previous generation of the engine. And then I'll read you some of the emails I got from current owners stating some performance lag and some fuel economy decreases that they have been seeing in the real world after what's called the AEM, the Approved Emissions Modification for the 3-liter EcoDiesel V6. I have some notes here for the timeline. In January of 2017, the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency in the US, opened up an inquiry into the vehicles that I mentioned, 2014 through 2016 Ram 1500 and Jeep Grand Cherokee EcoDiesel powered vehicles. 104,000 vehicles were identified to be within that range that they're inquiring about. And the EPA identified 8 conditions under which they felt the vehicle was not meeting some of the standards on emissions. And I'm not going to go into the detail of those 8 conditions. They're on our website from January of 2017. You can go back and see that on our website. Then soon after, I think a day or two after, there was a stop sale order on those vehicles. So FCA could not sell any more of those Ram 1500 EcoDiesel powered trucks or the Grand Cherokee EcoDiesel powered SUVs. Fast forward a couple months, in May of 2017, Ram and Jeep filed with EPA on the emissions recertification, and FCA stated no wrongdoing, but they wanted to satisfy the concerns with the EPA and the regulators, so they did come up with another program to recertify these trucks and SUVs. Then in July of 2017, they got an order to be able to sell the 2017 Ram 1500 EcoDiesel trucks. So some of the sales started to happen again. Then in February of 2018, there was an announcement about the recall that's going to fix this issue and also fines. So the government stated that there's going to be multiple different fines, and approximately at the same time, a class action lawsuit was opened where the owners were also suing FCA, the company, related to the fuel economy and emissions for these vehicles. Now, fast forward more than a year, and in May of 2019, there was a class action lawsuit settlement. There were approximately $800 million of fines, and $307 million in May was announced that it would go to the owners of those vehicles. And the process for getting the settlement varied from owner to owner, but it's anywhere from about $900 per vehicle to $3,075 per vehicle, depending if you were an original owner, if it was a leased vehicle, or if you've sold that truck or vehicle to somebody else, you were a previous owner. But the requirement for getting the settlement included getting the recall done. And FCA also promised to re-emissions test these vehicles for the ongoing several years to make sure that the software fix, the reprogramming of the vehicles worked in conjunction, or it was approved by the EPA and CARB to their agreement. So a lot of owners in May started to going to dealers, scheduling their appointments, and actually getting their trucks fixed. And it was basically a software recall. But after this, they've been noticing performance degradation, accelerator lag from standstill, and poor fuel economy. So I'm going to read you about, well, several, maybe 10 messages we received just today from current owners and their experiences. Phil writes, in response to your article and the request for comment, I have noticeable change in power and acceleration. I'm the original owner of the 2014 Ram Crew Cab 4x4 Laramie truck. The truck has 60,000 miles and has been perfectly maintained. I did the AEM, the approved emissions modification fix, in June, and I have driven the truck about 1,500 miles since. Since performing this recall procedure through the dealership where I purchased the truck, I've noticed two issues. First, a significant acceleration delay, especially from stop when under a light load or uphill climb. The second issue is loss of highway fuel economy. My average long trip mileage used to be 26 to 28 mpg, but after the fix, it never has exceeded 23 mpg. I will be contacting the dealership soon for advice. And I'm going to read you several more accounts like this. But what FCA, Ram, and Jeep has said that this fix is not going to affect drivability, durability, or fuel economy averages. That's the statement. David writes, I have a 2016 Ram EcoDiesel 1500 truck and had the emissions repair as well. I noticed a very significant lag of 5 seconds from a slow start after the repair and almost got hit because I couldn't get out of the way. 2 Ram dealers said that there is no fix for this issue. Kyle writes, I have a 2015 Ram 1500 EcoDiesel with a new emissions update. I have poor throttle response and more noticeable when the truck is cold. I think it is very dangerous because you expect to pull into traffic and have it respond. It is not the case right now. I have to be partially careful when entering intersections. Have had 2 close calls so far. I have to warn people to use extreme caution when using my truck. I have about 80,000 miles on it now. At about 75,000 miles, I had the recall performed. Brett writes, the settlement information states that you're not supposed to have performance changes. I lost power and about 3 miles per gallon. I took it back to the dealer and was basically told that there was nothing they could do. I liked my truck, but it is no longer fun to drive and no longer safe, especially if I'm pulling anything. I don't recommend the update unless you plan to get rid of the truck anyways. WM writes, yes, there is a noticeable difference in the throttle response after the recall. The turbo lag is significant. It makes you push the accelerator further, causing the turbo to leap and lose fuel economy. There is a special procedure where the dealership has to take a photo of the documentation of the recall procedure before FCA will honor the terms of the recall. I learned this the hard way from FCA since after the first recall program, the dealer did not submit it to FCA correctly and I had a catastrophic failure of the particulate filter. This would be covered under the newly extended emissions warranty, but no records, no fix. Fortunately, I was in Detroit at the time and the dealer there knew all too well the problem I was having. He did a hard reset and I was off and back on the highway. We also got several reports that people are waiting for their settlement money for quite some time. There's a website, EcoDieselSettlement.com. It outlines a lot of the information on the class action lawsuit. And a lot of owners have been waiting, well, since May or about 10 weeks to hear back or receive the money, even though to them it looks like they've done everything properly. They did the recall, they filed the paperwork, they got their claim number. But a lot of them, at least 2 people I talked to, are still waiting for their settlement money and actually finish their claims. So this is an update about the 2014 to 2016 EcoDiesel emissions settlement. It appears that a lot of owners are experiencing some performance degradation in terms of acceleration and fuel economy. And also some owners are not able to receive their settlements in the time allotted, or they think that they should be able to get it within 8 weeks, according to FCA, but they've been waiting longer. As always, go back to TFLtruck.com for more news, views, and real-world truck reviews. And of course, we're going to follow this story further to see if anything is changed or any updates are made.